Welcome to Brainish English Stories.
Soldier, sailor, tinker, tailor, policeman, farm boy, gentleman, Adelaide Lefroy, lift your pretty head, my dear. You are going to marry a gentleman. Miss Adelaide, who is enjoying a shiny red apple, turns her happy, freckled face to the speaker and answers with a smile, though her words are a little unclear because she is eating. I'm going to marry a gentleman, Brother Hal. Well, I don't think I mind. When he comes, he will find me ready to welcome him. No problem. Can you tell me more about him? A gentleman is not very clear. Will he be rich, poor, or somewhere in the middle? Will I live with him in a big house or a small one? The answer doesn't say. I can't tell you more, Addie. I got closer answers for the others, though. Pauline will marry a soldier, and Goggles will marry a policeman. Don't believe him, Addie, said Goggles, a pale, thin girl of 12, with big eyes that always seemed to ask questions. He cheated badly. He said policeman before tailor the second time, and he left out sailor. I didn't cheat, miss. I played the game fairly. You had 4 tries. You got tinker once and policeman 3 times. You're going to marry a policeman. There's no way out. I won't. She cries angrily, tears coming into her big, silly eyes. I won't marry a policeman, Hal. I'd rather stay single forever. First, you have to find your policeman, my dear, said Pauline, slowly waving away some bugs flying around her dark hair. You won't find many like that near our kitchen, I'm sure. I don't care if I do or not. I still won't marry ya. That's enough, Lottie. We've had enough of this silliness, said Addie suddenly, speaking like an older sister. You came out here to study, and I don't think you or Pauline have even looked at your French lesson, though you promised Aunt Jo you would memorize it for her this afternoon. Give me the book. I'll test you. Translate. I am hungry. Give me some cheese. Je suis faim. Donnez-moi du. No, that's wrong. It is J fame, which means I have hunger. I have hunger, grumbled Lottie. That just shows what a silly language French is. Who says I have hunger instead of, don't talk so much. Now, do you have my brother's penknife? Avez-vous mon frère's plume couteau? Miss Lefroy throws the torn book away in silent frustration. Don't worry, Goggles. I'll give you a sentence to translate, Hal whispers teasingly. Listen. Est-ce que le policeman est un amour? Eh? That's much better than anything in your old book, isn't it? Est-ce que le poli? Hal. Stop bothering your sister and focus on your own work. I don't think you've finished that hard math problem yet, even though you've been doing it all morning. And such a fun problem too, says Pauline, leaning forward and reading the math question written on the top of the old dirty slate. It's written in Aunt Jo's messy old handwriting. Uncle Dick gave little Jemmy 5 shillings as a Christmas gift. He went to a bakery and bought 7 mince pies at 2 halfpenny each, a box of chocolate, 9 oranges at 1 shilling and 6 pence per dozen. He gave 10 pence to a poor boy and had 4 pence left. What was the price of the chocolate? It's a terrible problem. That's what it is, says Hal firmly. Why make someone think about pies and sweets when he can't even eat one for? Hal, don't talk like that. You can change the pies into potatoes or rhubarb if you want, says Goggles in a mean way, and solve the problem the same way. I'll tell Auntie you did nothing but draw dogs all morning. Yeah, Tattletale, your tongue will be split. Why did you say I'd marry you? Charlotte, be quiet right now. There is a strong tone in Miss Lefroy's clear voice that makes everyone silent. Pauline lies down on the soft grass, yawning loudly. Addie makes herself a crown from light, soft grass and colorful autumn leaves. Then she picks a white flower and carefully starts pulling it apart. Soldier, sailor, tinker, tailor, policeman, farm boy, gentleman, again. How strange. It feels like there's some kind of fate in it. I wish I could learn more. But I just can't picture myself with a soldier. Oh well. Nutsgrove is a long, low brick house built a long time ago during the Tudor period. It has a stone terrace that leads to a big garden. In the past, when the Lefroys were rich, this garden was as beautiful and grand as the famous gardens of Nonsuch from the time of King Henry VIII. People even wrote poems about it. But now, the garden is wild and messy. It's full of overgrown bushes, huge weeds, broken summer houses, old statues, and dirty ponds. Once, these ponds had beautiful fountains where you could see the water shining brightly all the way to the bottom, but now they are still and green. Beyond the messy garden is an orchard with old walls that are falling apart. The orchard leads to the famous Nutsgrove, which hasn't been touched by time or neglect. The Nutsgrove looks the same as it did long ago when Tristram Lefroy, an ancestor, first came to live there. It's a green, quiet place with soft moss on the ground and ferns around the edges. Birds like woodlarks, blackbirds, and thrushes live here along with squirrels. The Lefroy children, 5 in all, love this place. They often play here. Their father, Colonel Robert Lefroy, who was once called Robert the Devil, when he was young and wild, left them and their country about 3 years ago. There goes Bob. I wonder if he got the ferret from Old Rogers, says Hal, breaking the sleepy silence. I hope he comes and tells us. But Bob, the eldest Lefroy, doesn't listen to their calls. He walks steadily back home, smoking a cigarette, with 2 dogs following him closely. He is a tall, strong boy of 18, with a handsome face like a gypsy and eyes like his sister Pauline's, large, dark, and proud. How rude of him not to come, complains his younger brother. I wonder why he's in a bad mood. Maybe Old Rogers got angry and didn't lend him the ferret. I wouldn't be surprised because... The gong at last, shouts Pauline, jumping up. I didn't know I was so hungry until I heard that sound. Come on, everyone. They don't need to be told twice. In 2 minutes, They leave the grove, running across the lawn with their noisy mixed-breed dogs barking, yelping, and running around them, making the quiet autumn afternoon loud and chaotic. "What's for dinner?" "Rabbits." "Rabbits again?" "Oh no. This is the 4th time this week we've had rabbits," says Robert, walking into the dining room, looking very unhappy. "At this rate, we'll eat all the rabbits in Higgins's field," adds Hal. "Aunt Jo, can I say grace today?" asks Pauline. "Of course, my dear," Aunt Jo replies, surprised. She is a kind old lady with a tired face and sad eyes. She has cried almost every day for the past 2 years. Pauline folds her hands, bows her head, and says, "Thank you, Lord, for young rabbits, old rabbits, hot rabbits, cold rabbits, soft rabbits, tough rabbits. We've had enough." "Amen," the whole family says sadly. "I wonder if I'll even remember the taste of real meat when I eat it again," Robert says, cutting the rabbit on his old, cracked plate. "You won't taste real meat until we pay the butcher's bill," Aunt Jo says firmly. £13, 11 shillings and 6 pence. That's what he said when Sarah tried to get a lamb chop for Lottie when she was sick. He won't give us any more meat until the bill is paid. That's what he told me, Josephine Darcy. Oh, what would my dear uncle, the bishop, have thought if he heard that? "He can't hear it, Auntie," says Lottie kindly. "He's dead, you know." "Not dead, just gone before," Aunt Jo corrects her, wiping her tears with a handkerchief. "Here come the tears again," Robert whispers quietly. "Someone help her stop crying." Addie gently puts her arm around Aunt Jo's shoulders. There, Auntie. Don't be so sad. You worry too much about us and you'll make yourself sick. Try to cheer up, Auntie. Cheer up, Aunt Jo says, her voice shaking. It's easy for you to say. How can I cheer up when we're so poor? How can I cheer up when I see you 5 children, growing up with not enough food, no proper education, and wearing clothes as bad as the poorest workers? You're my poor sister's children. Oh, Addie, you talk like a child. How can you understand what it's like? You all were complaining just 5 minutes ago because I didn't have any meat to feed you. You're upset because this is the 4th time this week you've had rabbit. Well, do you know that if Steve Higgins, who is very kind, didn't bring us extra rabbits from his field, you would only be eating bread and vegetables? The shops won't give us any more food until my money comes, and that won't happen for 4 months. Oh, Addie, don't try to make me feel better. I can't handle it anymore. Aunt Jo's voice breaks and she starts crying harder. The whole family gathers around her. Even Robert, who usually doesn't show much emotion, puts his arm around her. There, Auntie. Don't worry. Heaven will help us, you'll see. Every cloud has a silver lining. Something good will happen, don't worry. And we wouldn't mind eating rabbit if you didn't get so upset. Don't worry about our complaining. It's just noise. We don't mind rabbit at all, right, boys? Right? We'll eat anything, Auntie. Boys always complain. It's normal. Oh, Auntie, don't you believe us? We're happy as we are. As long as we're all together in this house, nothing else matters. We don't want to change. We don't want to wear fancy clothes or go to parties or play the piano like other people. We don't really. If you stop worrying, we'll stop complaining and we'll all be happy. A little cheered up by their words, Aunt Jo wipes her eyes, though she's still a bit sad. I know, Aunt Jo says. As long as you can run around, rest on haystacks, take birds' eggs, pick apples and cherries, hunt rats and rabbits, and never do any schoolwork, you will be happy. But the question is, how long can you keep this life? In the last 30 years, piece by piece, the land of this family has been sold. Now you only have the house, the garden, the orchard, and part of the grove. And even those are not fully yours. The house and everything inside it, like the chairs and the pictures, are all used as security for borrowed money. And, children, she says seriously, you need to know the worst. If your father stops paying the money he owes, the people he borrowed from can take this house away. They could make you leave with no place to live, with just 1 hour's notice. The children are silent. Then Robert, angry, says, But Aunt Jo, he will pay. He must pay. He can't just let us lose our home. He knows what will happen if he doesn't. Circumstances might be too difficult for him, Aunt Jo says sadly. Pauline, trying to stay hopeful, says, the people he owes money to can't be that heartless, right? They won't just kick us out. They have to wait until something happens, like one of us gets married or dies. Where would we go? Your father's creditors are Jews, Pauline. They are not known for kindness or patience. But as you said, children, it is best to stay hopeful and trust in heaven. And also trust in a Jew, says Addie with a smile. Doesn't a Jew have eyes? Doesn't a Jew have hands, senses, feelings, and emotions? Does a Jew not eat the same food, suffer from the same diseases, and feel hot and cold like a Christian does? If you prick him, doesn't he bleed? If you tickle him, doesn't he laugh? If you poison him, doesn't he die? Wow, Addie, that was amazing. The others cheer. Where did you learn all that? It's from Shakespeare, says Addie proudly. It's from The Merchant of Venice. I read the whole play yesterday, and I really liked it. You only think you liked it, Robert teases. No, Robert, I truly did enjoy it, Addie insists. Don't try to tell me you liked it more than The Children of the Abbey or The Heir of Redcliffe, because I won't believe it, Pauline laughs. They are different, Pauline. You can't compare them, Addie says proudly. I'm going to the Grove to read A Midsummer Night's Dream. I hear it's beautiful. Maybe before you go, you should fix the hole in your stocking, Aunt Jo says gently. It's been there for 2 days, and it doesn't look very nice. I saw it this morning, Addie admits calmly, but then I forgot. Can anyone lend me a thimble, a needle, and some thread?